Deemed rehabilitated and real entertaining. This is the Carl Jackson Podcast.
Did you guys hear about this? Have you guys heard the latest? Justice Kavanaugh's accuser admits to lying and faces criminal charges. Guys, you never get a second chance to make a first impression, right? We all know that cliche. Well, there's a bunch of lefties out there, moderates, even independents, that still believe that Justice Kavanaugh is this serial rapist. We know that the lady, his main accuser, was completely lying. Her boyfriend came out later. She said she was claustrophobic and she didn't like flying. Her boyfriend comes out later and says they flew all over the place together in these small engine planes. She was totally lying about that. And now you got this latest lady, Judy Monroe Layton, one of the three women who accused Justice Kavanaugh of sexual assault, was found to have lied. Why did she do it? For notoriety's sake. Where can the man go to get his reputation back? This is what the left does. This is who the left is. That's why some people take this conversation about a national divorce seriously, and I'm going to get into that. All right. Welcome to this edition of the Carl Jackson Show podcast. This is your daily dose of objective truth in a world of confusion and lies. Guys, I got so much to bring to you. I don't even know if I can just settle with with Carl Jackson's 5. There's some major news that is broke. I don't think anybody will be talking about today. I'm not going to go into detail with it today, but I want to make sure that I mention it. And that is, it's been confirmed there were undercover Metropolitan Police employees that were at the J6 mostly peaceful protest and trying to trap American citizens, trying to trap patrons. Guys, more of this stuff is going to be coming out. The left is absolutely freaking out now that they know that Speaker Kevin McCarthy is given or has given Tucker Carlson and his team 42,000 or 41 or 42,000 hours of J6 video. You hear Representative Adam Full of Schiff out there in a complete panic. The black guy whose name escapes me that oversaw the J6 committee, he's panicking, talking about this could be a national security threat. All that they don't want to be proven to be liars. But now we have this added information that it has been confirmed that undercover Metropolitan Police employees did act as agent provocateurs during the J6 mostly peaceful protests. So between them and the FBI, can you say entrapment, baby, baby? All right. Before I go any further, guys, I got to talk to you about our sponsors today, MyPillow.com. MyPillow.com. Go there right now. Use the promo code Carl. Just click on the radio listener square at the top of the page. Right now, there's an amazing deal for their MyPillow 2.0. Guys, I was just telling Gabe that I might have to break down and get him one of these pillows. I overslept. I'm not going to lie to you as a result of this comfortable freaking pillow. It's amazing. And I didn't want to let go of my pillow 1.0, if you will. I still sleep next to it. All right. I still have it on the side, but I was like, let me try this My Pillow 2.0. Guys, I absolutely love it. It feels so good. The technology is amazing. The new fabric dissipates heat and humidity to create a cooling sensation to maintain a cooler surface temperature. It feels fabulous. I have to admit it. So just when you thought it couldn't get any better, it has with My Pillow 2.0. When Mike invented My Pillow, it had everything you could ever want in a pillow. Now, nearly 20 years later, he discovered this new technology that makes it even better. That is the My Pillow 2.0. It has the patented adjusted feel of the original My Pillow, and now with the brand new fabric that is made with a temperature regulating thread. Guys, I'm telling you, it feels great. All right. The My Pillow 2.0 is the softest, smoothest, and coolest pillow you'll ever own. I can vouch for that. All right. So now for my listeners, there's an exclusive offer out there. If you go buy a My Pillow, it's buy one, get one free. BOGO. All right. Buy one, get one free. All you have to do is use the promo code Carl, CARL. Click on the radio listener square or give them a call, 800-858-0263. 800-858-0263. I promise you, you will not regret it. Now, Guys, Biden, president-elect, gave a speech in Warsaw, Poland last night. A complete and utter disaster. This guy is taking us into World War III, and I'm going to be talking about this tonight on the Officer Tatum's program, how China is winning the Russia-Ukraine war. You heard me correctly. China is winning the Russia-Ukraine war, and a lot of this has to do with energy. We'll be breaking it down with an expert from Heritage Foundation tonight, so make sure you tune in to the Officer Tatum show this evening, where I'll be filling in for Brandon Tatum. All right? Now, so that brings me to my next sponsor, forpatriots.com. forpatriots.com. Food shortage could be coming even in the U.S., experts wrote as recently as July. Drought, inflation, and even new policies are pushing America's food supply near its breaking point. Guys, you know that China is buying farmland up here. You know these World Economic Forum foods and these World Health Organization foods really want us to starve to death. It sounds crazy, but they do. Just be prepared. Be ready. God forbid we enter into World War III, or God forbid we experience a natural disaster like they experienced in Turkey, Syria, where a second earthquake hit after they've already discovered over 40,000 people are dead. So pray for them as well. But go to the number 4, patriots.com. A portion of every sale goes to help out charities that help out veterans and their families. For patriots.com, the food lasts for 25 years. It is survival superfood. The food is water resistant and it stacks easily for storage. And in just 20 minutes, you can have a breakfast, lunch, or dinner meal ready. All you have to do is add boiling water, simmer, and serve. Go to forpatriots.com. Use the promo code Carl. All right. And Liver Health, our latest sponsor, Liver Health. All right, or Pure Health, I'm sorry. If you're looking to ignite your fat-burning metabolism, boost energy, and transform how you look and feel, you must start taking care of your liver. Fatty liver affects 100 million Americans. This is why so many of us struggle with weight gain and low energy levels. I can attest to that. It's manufactured in the USA. I love this. All of these American products, American entrepreneurs popping up. It's approved by American doctors and contains 12 powerful botanicals, clinically proven to recharge and protect your liver. Try Liver Health formula risk-free and receive a free bottle of nano-powered omega-3 to keep your heart healthy. Claim your special offer today by going to getliverhelp.com/Carl. 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 Okay. Marjorie Taylor Greene stirred up a ruckus. I love Auntie MTG. I'm sorry. I love Auntie MTG. I know a lot of people can't stand her. Many people on the right, many people on the left. But she speaks from a perspective of a lot of Americans. She says a lot of things that your everyday American citizen feels. I'm not. I understand the conversations of national divorce. At some point, I got to admit, I flirted with the idea. But the more that I think about it, I want a national takeover. Carl, what do you mean? Well, first, let me go through some of the news, and we're going to put this into perspective. First, obviously, starting with Justice Kavanaugh. Let's understand who the left is. The left is completely evil. They hate America. They're anti-American. They don't subscribe to the Bill of Rights. They don't subscribe to the Constitution. They want to fundamentally transform America. It started with Barack Obama. It started way back over 100 years ago with I forget the guy's. Oh, my Lord. Woodrow Wilson started with him, but the left has been around. The lefties inside of the Democrat Party have been around for quite some time, trying to undermine the United States of America. Now you get this. Hat tip, zero hedge. Kavanaugh accuser admits to lying, faces criminal charges. Judy Monroe Layton, one of the 3 women who accused Justice Kavanaugh of sexual assault, was found to have lied during a congressional investigation and is now being charged with making materially false statements and obstruction. I hope she goes to jail. I doubt that she will, but this is very disconcerting. According to the Beltway report, a letter written by Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley made a criminal referral against Monroe Layton, who admitted that, quote, she just wanted to get attention, close quote. Guys, this guy's life has literally been threatened. An assassin went to his house last year. These ladies lied. It isn't just this one lady. These ladies lied. She also admitted that an anonymous letter she sent to then Senator Kamala Harris describing, so this lady sent an anonymous letter to then Senator Kamala Harris describing a graphic sexual assault by Kavanaugh and a friend was not even written by her, despite her original claim of being, quote, Jane Doe from Oceanside, California, close quote. Isn't it amazing that Kamala Harris didn't do any investigation into this, by the way? She goes on to say, no. I did that as a way to grab attention, close quote. Monroe Leighton explained when questioned by investigators of the committee on the judiciary. She says, quote, I am not Jane Doe, but I did read Jane Doe's letter. I read the transcript of the call to your committee. I saw it online. It was news, close quote. In her statement, she also clarified that she never met Judge Kavanaugh. Quote, in short, during the committee's time-sensitive investigation of allegations against Judge Kavanaugh, Ms. Monroe Leighton submitted a fabricated allegation which diverted committee resources. Basically, she lied and they wasted money on her. This is what Grassley's letter reads. I hate that their letter sounds so formal. When questioned by committee investigators, she admitted it was false, a ploy, and a tactic. This is what the left does. They absolutely destroy people. Where can Justice Kavanaugh go to get his reputation back? Guys, I want you to understand that this is the Democrat Party of today. They will absolutely destroy you. Women are going to, this was a man who was a basketball coach for women who was, everyone looked up to this guy, said he had the utmost of character. He has daughters, he has a wife, and they tried to destroy him. And that's what they continue to do. That's what the left will always do. The Democrat Party is no longer the Democrat Party. It is a party of leftists. None of the senators on the committee took the time to investigate the anonymous letter, which Grassley claims was due to their haste to close out the hearings. All right. So this is what we get. This is who the left is. All right. I just want you to understand how evil and depraved the left is. Now, I've been debating, quite frankly, on what to talk about on this podcast because some of these issues I'm going to be taking up in greater detail tonight on the Officer Tatum show. But I did want to bring you some headlines and just prove to you how dangerous the left are and why I don't think it's necessarily silly for people to consider a national divorce. However, I will say this. I prefer a national takeover. I do want to read this column to you. I will give you some of the news here, but I do want to make mention or read through some of this column. Let me just give you some of the biggest headlines today before I go ahead and do that. Let me go ahead and give you Jackson's 5, even though some of these might be incorporated in that. Obviously, there was a speech that Biden gave in Warsaw, Poland last night, and he tried to sound so powerful and strong. He promised additional to support in Ukraine. He warned of quote, hard and bitter days ahead, quote unquote. It's almost as if this guy doesn't want this war to end. It's almost as if he has no solution in mind. Why would you be warning of hard and bitter days ahead instead of working to do everything possible to bring this war to a close? What's going on here? Guys, I listen, I don't think it's just that Ukraine is losing this war. And it isn't just that Ukraine is losing this war at this point in time. America is losing this war. America is losing this war. And it is a bad sign. And nobody wants to hear it. I get it. But the problem with Ukraine is if we were going to be a part of this, which we are, it's our proxy war. So if we were going to be a part of this Ukraine war, then we should have gone ahead. At this point, we're giving them everything they wanted or everything they need, although it hasn't gotten to them yet. You have to wonder what's up with the delay. So everything we said we weren't, or Biden said he wasn't going to send, he is sending to Ukraine, but it hasn't even arrived yet. It hasn't even arrived yet. China is looking at this war, and as much as I hate to agree with some of the moderates on this issue, China does look at this war this proxy war in Ukraine, and they say, oh, okay, we can get America to spend more money here. We can make America look like fools here. What we're going to do is we're going to back Putin, which they are. They're continuing to prop up Putin. They're giving him consumer goods. They're giving Russia consumer goods, so Russia isn't feeling the pinch. They're buying fuel from Putin, albeit at a discounted rate where Putin is losing a lot of money, but China continues to buy fuel from them, pumping them up. India is buying fuel from them. So China is looking at Ukraine as much as I hate this. China is looking at Ukraine and saying, okay, we can prop Putin up. We can keep you guys distracted here. We can use our resources, and China will come out as the big dog. That's what they're looking to do. So sadly, if we're going to be in Ukraine, we should win the war. It doesn't appear to be anything. There's nothing that appears that Biden wants to win this war. Here's a second thing. CNN's Don Lemon is going to return to work today, but he has to complete mandatory training. So I've thought on this a lot. And at first I was a little frustrated that this story was so big in the news. I didn't feel like it was a big story, but it's worth talking about. And I'll tell you why. But I think I have a different take on this stuff. Quite frankly, I'm sick. I'm sick of the story. I really don't care. CNN has decided to employ in Don Lemon a talentless, narcissist, sexist, but they're free to do that. There's plenty of uproar on my side of the aisle, and I get it. I get the frustration because it is that mentality. What if it was one of us? What if a Republican had done this, right? Then we would probably be out on our keister. However, CNN is a private organization and they can do whatever they want, even if it means keeping a talentless, narcissist, sexist like Don Lemon on TV, that causes their ratings to just tank. If they're going to fire him for anything, fire him because no one watches him. This is supposed to be national programming. No one watches this guy. No one watches a lot of CNN shows. But as I think about this, I'm concerned about free speech. I'm concerned about the First Amendment. And again, CNN, as a private institution, they have the ability to do whatever it is they want to do. This isn't the same as big tech where they're supposed to be neutral platforms. CNN can be whomever they want. They can hire whomever they want. Maybe if they're employees, which a lot of women are threatening to leave at this point, if he comes back on at CNN, if CNN or if they're concerned about that and they want to fire him, then so be it. But I'm a little more concerned about the reaction the more that I think about it from the right. I'm a little more concerned about it because I've turned into a free speech absolutist. There were things that I didn't want to see, things that I didn't want to hear. But now that I understand, I grow to understand how the left works. Listen, man, you do you, boo. Let me do me. Allow me to be a free thinking, constitutional restorationist, a Christian. Allow me to live out my faith. And if we have a conversation, I'm not going to hate you for it. You don't need to hate me for it. Maybe I'll persuade you. Maybe you'll persuade me. Highly doubt it. Maybe you'll persuade me. But at the end of the day, we agree to disagree. And what are we? We're Americans. We're Americans. And so I just look at the attacks on Don Lemon and I can't stand the guy. Every time I see this guy on television, I'm like, how the hell does he have a job on national television? The guy's horrible, but they want to employ him. So be it. So be it. I don't mind if he loses his job, but I want it to be based upon talent. And sometimes people say stuff on air because they talk so much. And if they apologize, if they ask for forgiveness, if they're sincere, for God's sakes, man, can't we extend that sometimes? I say this as a person who can't stand Don Lemon. Seriously, I think he's responsible for the destruction and the divisiveness that exists in America today. Truly do. But nonetheless, I think this is kind of overkill with Don Lemon. Okay, so a couple of other things that's going into play. Let me see if I want to mention that. I may come back to this. Anti-American Chinese official disparages U.S. for opiate crisis. Guys, China has attacked us with a virus. China is attacking us, whether it was intentional, whether it was just, okay, this is out in China, we're not going to tell anybody about it. Regardless, we've suffered mass casualties inside of the United States as a result of COVID. China unleashed that on the world. Now we have these open borders, and now you got this anti-American Chinese official disparaging the U.S. for its opiate crisis. You've got Biden in Ukraine on President's Day, when you got these people in East Palestine, Ohio. Trump is slated to visit today. I believe Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is scheduled to visit today as well. We will see how that goes. But you have Biden ignoring that. You have Biden essentially ignoring the border, although there is some news on the border that I do want to bring you. So here it is from the tip sheet. National Review had tipped China's foreign ministry gloated over America's opiate crisis, posting a message online yesterday arguing that it proves the superiority of the Chinese Communist Party's governance model. Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Hu Chunying, an anti-U.S. voice on social media, posted a series of messages condemning the U.S. and emphasizing that, quote, China won't become the U.S. One of those posts said that, quote, China does not allow the drug problem to hunt the nation and kill 100,000 per year. They're laughing at us as they're sending fentanyl into our country and killing us. This is why Biden is weak. He can go to Warsaw, Poland. He can go to Ukraine. He can give all the speeches he wants. He wants to pretend as if communication is going to serve the day. He can't even talk, for one, and nobody believes him. Nobody fears Biden. No leader has respect for Biden, including our allies, which is why they will not pay up. Here's some more news for you. This is household debt reaches highest level since 2008. Oh, guys, this is frustrating, but things are getting scary. Hey, I do want to remind you, please subscribe to my podcast wherever you go to get your podcast. We would certainly appreciate that, whether it's Apple, Google, Spotify, YouTube, Rumble, you name it. We're out there. Find us wherever you go to get your podcast, The Carl Jackson Show. Will you subscribe to our YouTube channel? Will you subscribe to or follow our Instagram social media posts? We would really appreciate that. But YouTube, we'd really like to build up. Some of you are on Rumble. We understand that. We're there too, The Carl Jackson Show. But we really want to build up our YouTube numbers. We'd love to build up a Rumble as well. But if you'll go to youtube.com / The Carl Jackson Show, you can find us there. All things social media, Twitter, Instagram, True Social, Facebook, Getter. You can find us. The Carl Jackson Show is where you can find us. It would really help us out big time if you would subscribe to those pages. But right now, according to Fox News, U.S. household debt jumped to the highest level since 2008. Guys, I was around in 2008. I was a relatively I had started my business perhaps 5 years prior. I took a major hit in 2008, and we're looking at debt levels that we saw back then. And I'm telling you, I lost half the business. All these people that I thought had money, they were in debt up to their eyeballs. I wasn't much different, frankly. But I was doing better than them, apparently. All these people whose houses and lawns I was servicing were, nice cars, nice houses, all this kind of stuff. And then they just went belly up. Literally, within months, it was like, where'd all my clients go? It was insane. So U.S. household debt jumped to the highest level since the 2008 financial crisis last year. mortgages surged and amid high inflation and rising interest rates. This, according to a new analysis that was published by Wallet Hub. The findings show that household debt, which increased by 320 billion in the final 3 months of 2022, hit a 15-year high of $17 trillion on average. A typical household owed a total of $142,680 at the end of the year. That's your cut of the debt, the national debt. $142,000. I hope you guys have it in your bank account, because you're going to be paying that back for your entire life. And it's only going to get worse if they keep spending. And Biden wants to keep spending. The Republicans have to make sure that they get a hold of spending, that they don't allow runaway spending to continue. Did you guys hear about this? The Biden administration is proposing tightening of asylum rules to stem illegal immigration. Did you just hear that? The Biden administration is proposing tightening of asylum rules to stem illegal immigration. Do you know what's going on? This is Biden announcing that he's running. This is what this is. This is Trump's remain in Mexico policy. Biden is now going to try to, it's like when Trump should have patented the remain in Mexico policy, right? Because now Biden is going to copycat it, call it something else, and pretend like he's doing wonders. Meanwhile, they're destroying the interior of the United States of America. Regardless, you have Susan Rice admitting that they're trying to quickly impose racial equity throughout all of these bureaucracies. I'll get to a story on the EPA in just a minute. All of these bureaucracies that exist that we can't vote for, officials we can't vote for. As citizens of the United States, these people in government are supposed to be working for us, but we're working for them. Isn't that amazing what the left has done and what a lot of rhinos have allowed to happen? Hat tip, just the news. The Biden administration on Tuesday announced a proposal to deport would-be migrants who did not seek asylum from another country while traveling to the U.S. or who failed to provide advance notice of their plans to seek asylum. Under the proposal, border authorities would automatically assume, this according to the New York Times, to be ineligible for asylum if they enter the U.S. in an unlawful manner. The administration announced the proposal ahead of the planned lifting of Title 42, COVID-19 pandemic immigration enforcement order, and an anticipated surge in illegal migration per the outlet. So they don't want more illegals busting through our border as Biden gets prepared to announce that he's going to be running for president. Guys, the left has nobody. The only person they can hope will run is Michelle Obama. I think she would be a serious threat. I think she would. But let me be frank, and I've been telling you guys this. They don't have any good candidates, but what they do have is ballot harvesting. So I don't ever want to take Democrats lightly. So I have to make sure that I'm careful in balancing that too. But if you're looking at Democrat candidates, the only three people that are being mentioned besides Joe Biden himself, Pete Buttigieg, who has been a complete and utter disaster, from the supply shipping crisis to airlines being down to these train derailments that have seemed to skyrocket under his leadership. All this money that we spent on infrastructure, the left did, and our railroads are in disarray all across the country. The guy has been a complete and utter disaster. All right. And I don't know if it's because he was a small town mayor or if it's just because he's a Democrat and he's a lefty. They talk a good game, but they don't know how to govern. They know how to campaign. They do not know how to govern because they don't live in the real world like you and I do. All right. But now, again, this administration announced the proposal ahead of lifting Title 42. All this means is that Biden is going to run, and he doesn't want illegal aliens running across your front yard when he's running for president. They got all the people as many people as they can to transform the landscape of America, to transform the demographics of America, and now they're going to slow down leading up to the presidency. That's what it looks like to me. All right, so I wanted to make sure that I mention that to you. What else do I want to bring you? This is another one. Thousands of Amazon employees were voted CEO, makes them show up in office at least 3 days per week. Guys, do you remember this? I'll talk about this more on Officer Tatum's show tonight. So actually, let me do this first. The EPA administrator quietly postpones Africa climate change trip with Idris and Sabrina Elbow as Ohio train disaster unfolds. So the EPA administrator, Michael Regan, who happens to be a black dude, postponed a climate change trip to Africa with celebrity couple Idris and Sabrina Elba amid fallout from the train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. Why the hell are we worried about supposed man-made climate change in Ohio when we can see the disaster that has erupted in Palestine, Ohio? So we're not going to go there to perpetrate this hoax because we're so horrible at doing our jobs in the United States, and it's coming home. The chickens are coming home to roost. So we're going to delay this trip. They should cancel it altogether because man-made climate change is a complete and utter hoax. At least as far as doing existential damage to the earth. I mean, for God's sakes, fossil fuels have been in the crust of the earth since, the beginning of time. And we've not had to worry about it, but somehow we need to worry about them now. Does that make sense to you? They're natural fossil fuels. We want to make man-made EVs and all this stuff and pretend like we can do a better job than God. These people just want to be God. But that's on the hush-hush now, or that's been postponed. So the EPA administrator, and I'll go into further detail tonight. All right, so thousands of Amazon employees revoted CEO makes them show up in office at least 3 days per week. Okay, grow the hell up. See, this is the problem with the left. They've destroyed the work ethic in America with the lockdowns, not with the pandemic, with the lockdowns. People don't want to go back to work. You've got buildings that have been abandoned that businesses have to continue to pay for. Nobody's going to buy a lot of these commercial buildings right now. No one's going to buy them. But these people, they've spoiled employees. That's what the left did. The lockdowns spoiled employees. Employees were able to get paid from their jobs. They were able to get paid from state and the federal government to chill at home. And now they're like, man, I'm making money at home. I love being at home. Guess what? I'm going to stay home, boss. No. You don't get to run. The inmates don't get to run the asylum. But that's exactly what's happening. If I'm Amazon, I'm offering more pay to new people that can come in and do their jobs and replace them. And that's how I place the ad. I don't even like Jeff Bezos, but I can't stand these spoiled brats. You guys remember the good old days when you got your first job? I can remember as a kid, my older brother Tyrone got hired to work at an El Pollo Loco. It was in Long Beach. And my mom took us on the ride to his first day. And it was like, oh, man, that's so cool. He's got his first job and blah, blah, blah. You know, it was a big deal. Yeah, I remember my mom had long passed, but I remembered when I got my first job. I would work with my dad laying bricks and on occasion. And, you know, my dad was a painter, bricklayer. I mean, just your blue collar American worker, right? Had his own or started his own business. It was just a sole proprietorship of painting, building block fences, laying bricks, concrete driveways, you name it. He did hard labor. He did a great job at it. But on occasion, my brothers and I will go work with him, but it wasn't often because he didn't have that much money. We were in school, all that kind of stuff. But I can remember getting my first job, and I believe it was it? No, it wasn't. Okay. Actually a restaurant, Golden Corral. That's out. You guys may know. Golden Corral. Man, I bust my butt, but I was so happy to have that job at the time because I could afford to do stuff and buy stuff for myself. There's no pride in work anymore, sadly, with a lot of these people, and it annoys the crap out of me. So you guys shut up, grow up. I'll get into this. I'll delve in a little further today. Shut up and grow up. But it's reasons the left has destroyed this country so much in such a short period of time. I understand why conservatives feel the need or the urge to say national divorce. And honestly, sometimes I'll admit to you, I get so discouraged of how far how many freedoms we've lost as a result of the lockdowns, and how far the left, or how much damage the left has done in the last couple of years compared to where we were under Trump, I can look at my portfolio, my stock portfolio, and just losing money, and it gets discouraging. It gets hard. I'm not gonna lie to you. But the more that I think about this, and even as damaging as the left has been, where people no longer want to work, you got people that want to kill some of our justices that are on the left, and they say that we're the dangerous ones. You've got China that's on the march. We've got political prisoners, mostly peaceful protesters from J6 that are now political prisoners. We've got undercover agents trying to set us up in Washington, D.C., both in the FBI, and now it's been confirmed with the Washington Metropolitan Police. You've got a completely open border crisis. You've got all these people, these woke CRT, DEI people talking about how America's systemically racist and all this nonsense. And we look at this and we're like, fine. You guys take some states, we'll take some states, and we'll do our own thing. Well, I just say, let's do a national takeover. Maybe you have to start buying conservative businesses. Take my sponsors. Guys, they need your help. We need your help. MyPillow.com. Use the promo code Carl. The number 4patriots.com. Use the promo code Carl. And make sure you get a survival kit for your family, to protect your family. 25 years, that they're good. You'll get a year-long guarantee plus free shipping on orders that are over $97. If you go to the number 4patriots.com, you mention my name, it's your first-time purchase, you're going to get 10% off, and you get to help out charities that help out veterans and their families. So we need your help there. American businesses, 4patriots.com, mypillow.com, Pure Health as well. If you want to get your energy back, get your groove back, you know how Stella got her groove back, getliverhelp.com/Carl, getliverhelp.com/Carl. A product that's manufactured in the USA, approved by American doctors, contains 12 powerful botanicals that are clinically proven to recharge and protect your liver. Buy American. Buy American. Help out American businesses. And honestly, we just have to stop caring what the left thinks about us. We can't be afraid to be right. There's some things that we're scared of saying, some things that we're scared of doing. And I'm no different. I don't like being confrontational if I don't have to, but I'm not about to lose my country. So let's just take this mug over. Let's win these elections. If the left ballot is out there ballot harvesting, let's do it better. And then let's restore our constitutional principles. Let's restore our Judeo-Christian values. I love what's happening in these colleges, these Christian colleges. Asbury, there's another one in Ohio where there seems to be, I love how this girl said it last night on Laura Ingraham, not necessarily a revival yet, because we've yet to see what this movement will do, but certainly young people that are willing to repent of their sins, willing to turn to Christ. And it's absolutely amazing because these people are searching for purpose that they're not finding with social media and everything the world has to offer. So I understand these conversations of a national divorce. Marjorie Taylor Greene got pilloried. She said it's time for a national divorce. And again, I'm not hating on her. I love Auntie MTG. And I understand why she said what she said. I just want a national takeover. And we can do it through the Constitution. The left isn't playing by the Constitution, but if we impose, I know that sounds contradictory, but if we impose constitutional principles on them, we got to beat them at the ballot box by any means necessary. I shouldn't say by any means necessary. By using their rules if we have to. Hat tip New York Post, Marjorie Taylor Greene calls for national divorce along political lines. We are done, she says. Fresh off her own divorce, the column, I don't know why they had to add that. Far-right representative, she's not far-right. This is New York Post. She's a Republican, and she feels the same way many people do. I'm so tired of this. For God's sakes, New York Post, come on now. All right. She called on Monday for a national divorce. The controversial lawmaker said it was time to... Why is she controversial? All right, I just got to read the column because I'm going to go nuts, even on the New York Post. And I love the New York Post, but good Lord. The controversial lawmaker said it was time to divide the country along political lines, arguing that the differences between the GOP and Democrat-leaning states have become irreconcilable. We need a national divorce. This is what she said in a tweet on President's Day. We need to separate by red states and blue states and shrink the federal government. Everyone I talk to says this. She's absolutely right about shrinking the federal government. Ada Green, who was reelected to the House last November, she went on to say, from the sick and disgusting woke culture issues shoved down our throats to the Democrats' sick, traitorous American last policies, we are done. She later clarified amid a social media uproar that a national divorce does not mean a civil war. And of course, the left and many Republicans that can't stand her are going to take it there. And she argued that President Biden is the one leading us into World War III. And she has concerns. She doesn't want Americans fighting a war that we have no intention of winning, that isn't impacting, at least it doesn't seem at this time, impacting the United States of America. Yes, we've got our NATO allies, but our NATO allies aren't chipping in like they should be. We've already done a lot of the heavy lifting for them. It's time for these NATO allies to step up. And she's not wrong about this stuff. I'm sorry. But ultimately, I don't want a national divorce the more that I think about it. But we can act as if we're separated, right? Working with American-loving people when it comes to consumer goods. Making sure that our Republican congressmen are as feisty as Marjorie Taylor Greene and fighting for you and I, whatever your locale is. And making sure we beat the Democrats at the ballot box, regardless of money that they're getting from George Soros and all these other World Health or whatever, World Economic Forum, all of these globalists. We can talk and communicate with each other and we can win. So I suggest a national takeover, not a national divorce. Because America is the greatest country that God has ever given men. That's why people continue to flock here. And we just got to fight harder than we ever have before. And a national takeover, as far as conservatives are concerned, sounds scary, but it's a good thing, right? We love the rule of law. We love babies. We love free speech. We love hardworking Americans taking home more of their money. We want a sovereign nation with closed borders. And listen, immigrants are welcome. Legal immigrants are welcome. We want a strong military that deters people like China. We want energy independence. We want educational systems and in schools that actually work for everybody, that aren't focused on queer theory and all this trans bull crap and all that stuff. We want reading, writing, arithmetic. We have the better ideas. Let's fight for them. Let's not be scared to share them. Guys, I appreciate you tuning in to this edition of the Carl Jackson Show podcast. Please be sure to subscribe to the podcast wherever you go to get your podcast. All right. We would really appreciate that. Don't forget our sponsors. All right. Don't forget our sponsors. GetLiverHelp.com, Pure Health. GetLiverHelp.com/Carl. GetLiverHelp.com/Carl. ForPatriots.com. ForPatriots.com to make sure you get your survival kit, and MyPillow.com. Get that new MyPillow 2.0. All right. So please, again, follow us wherever we can be found on social media, The Carl Jackson Show. Subscribe to our podcast wherever you go to get your podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And until next time, guys, don't grow weary doing good. God bless you.